Hi, this is Ellen Myers, facilitating the K-Collab project, and I have on the phone with me Kathleen Cushman. Kathleen is the author of a new book called Fires in the Mind, What Kids Can Tell Us About Motivation and Mastery. And I've contacted Kathleen because I've been wrestling with online collaboration and motivation. Does online collaboration need a product as a goal in order to jumpstart it and to keep it going? Kathleen, what are your thoughts?
Well, the first thing I think about is the nature of collaboration itself, co-laboring at something. And my own feeling is that collaboration is always both learning and doing. That when we're laboring with somebody, we're doing something as well as learning from each other. So in that sense, it would seem natural that it would involve some kind of so what, shown how, what are we showing what are we making? So one thing we're making obviously is deeper understanding, and deeper closeness with each other. Where one thing you could say we're making is community, for example, or deeper knowledge of something. But it also gives us an opportunity to create something from it, something that is not just interior and a feeling and an attitude that we have, but tangible or visible or audible or tasteable. And when we think of forms of collaboration offline, we often think of, say, a tangible product, a building, or a dance, or a theater piece, or a book, or even something a lasagna. And each time the fruit of that collaboration could have its own quality. It could, for example, be fleeting. It could be something you see once and then you don't have it to put on the refrigerator door, so to speak. Or it could be something you can hold in your hands and pass down to other people. But I do believe that having something as a culminating, if you want to call it product or fruit of our co-labors, makes our thinking and our deepening of community visible. It makes our thinking, our labor, our community building, our deepening of our understanding visible to other people, and therefore has perhaps a deeper use. We can think of it as a kind of legacy or a progeny almost, a progeny that we can pass down to others, because online communication is by its nature fleeting. I mean, Twitter is the wonderful example of this. It flows by you like a river, and so does most online communication. And we tend to have unreliable memories as to what it was we took from that. But we nonetheless treasure it. It's a very satisfying thing to build together something like that. And so as not to forget it, not only not to forget the pleasure and satisfaction of the collaboration and the community building, we also want to have something that we can hold from it, hold and pass on.
So Kathleen, one aspect about the online collaboration that K-Collab has going for it is that it's all documented, because people are, in essence, talking through their fingers. So all the words will be there. It's transparent. So while I appreciate what you're saying in terms of the dance or the lasagna, because I am always product-oriented, because it's transparent, because it's documented, because there's a written record, is professional online networking enough of a product in itself?
It can be, but it's very, very loose. And I believe that as we make new knowledge by doing that kind of collaboration, we also have an obligation to, we're making something. Imagine a group in Michelangelo's studio that's working together to shape something out of something relatively inchoate. And I think we have an obligation to revise and to reflect, and we are doing that as the river of social networking is flowing up, among us. But I think that it's necessary, honestly, to who goes back and reads a long stream of other people's conversations with each other. It just doesn't happen. Instead, something is made from it that distills it in some way. And I do think that that's part of the fun, honestly, is to see something that's pass-onable. And yes, it is documented as for example, a transcript of a conversation is documented, but it's not necessarily useful to others. And unless you want a community that only exists for itself, I think it's really important to make something from it. So when you say product, maybe that's a little bit too utilitarian. I mean, the product has a number of purposes, but one of them is certainly to share with other people who absolutely don't have the time to, we had such a great time, you had to be there.
Got it. I'm completely in sync with what you're saying, because other than a lengthy conversation, which I agree with you, no one is going to ever have the patience or interest in reading. It could either be a clearinghouse where you have lots and lots of resources that people may or may not tap into, or you need something more focused. For example, the MetLife survey that was just completed, which was all about collaboration, it was a very clear product. The product is better teaching and learning in individual schools. So that one I can get my arms around. But I so appreciate that you're talking about the opportunity. I like that you use the word opportunity. It's an opportunity to think externally as well as internally. So, Kathleen, thank you so much. And I just want to say to those of you who may be listening to this conversation, I highly recommend Kathleen's book. I think thinking about motivation is really, really key, especially at this moment in our culture where there is so much going on, and we really need to think about what will draw people in and why we're drawing people in. So thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you, Ellen.